Yo, what's going on? It's your boy J Mitch. I'm up here with my Kraton 8S. I just want to give you guys a look at what I got going on under the hood. I'll make it real quick. I got the 8S. I ran it stock. It didn't have enough balls for me, so then I changed to a Max 5 Hobbywing, and I was running the SSS 1050 kV motor or 1000 kV motor. That was an amazing setup. It was a little hot. I had to run a smaller pinion, but it was a really amazing setup. But then what I did was I was curious about the MMX 8S ESC, and I removed the Max 5 and replaced it with the MMX 8S ESC, and it was pretty decent with the MMX 8S, except the MMX 8S blew up on me. You know, it was the early batch. You know me, I try to get the newest stuff first. So yeah, that ESC blew up on me, and I returned it to Castle, and I also lost the motor in the process. The car gave me signs to stop, and I just didn't stop. I kept going. I'm like, it'll be okay. You know, that little stutter thing it does. Then the ESC went up in flames. So, you know, that was part of Castle and that was part me. The thing is, I only ran the car for like 5 to 10 minutes and it was doing that. So yeah, that went. So then I came back to my Max 5 and I replaced the SSS motor with the a Hobby Star 840 kV that I saw Rich Duperbash running. We call it the Duperbash setup. I really like that setup in this car. That was really dope. That was a really good setup. But the thing is, when I bought that MMX 8S ESC, I bought two at the same time. And around the same time that my ESC got replaced by Castle under warranty, I went to my hobby shop. They had a 2028 censored motor in there. And I just couldn't resist putting the MMX 8S back in here with the 2028 censored motor. Now, what I will tell you is it was actually a really good setup. Temps ran low, but it just wasn't a beast compared to the Hobbywing. I think the Hobbywing is rated at 200 amps. The Max 5 is rated at 200 amps continuous, whereas the MMX 8S is rated at about 160 amps. So really, MMX 8S is more comparable to a Max 6. It might be right in between where a Hobbywing Max 6 is and a Hobbywing Max 5 is on the power band. But it just wasn't enough to scare me, I would say. I've seen some really good videos of it that way, and I've tuned my diffs and I've done so much to this car, and just wasn't performing the way that I expected it to. So, you know, I had a choice. Hey, go back to the Duperbash setup, I call it, put the Max 5 back in with the Duperbash motor, or try something a little bit different. Another combo I've been really successful with in my fifth scales. So what I did was I flipped the coin and I said, you know what? You know what works in these cars, so stop playing around and go all in. So that's exactly what I did with this car. I'm going to show you guys what I got under the hood. I'm talking too much. Thanks for hanging in there as long as you have. But yeah, let's get to the shits. What you have in this car now is a ZTW 300 amp 12S ESC. What's cool about this ESC, most of the 12S ESCs, most of the ESCs above 8S, they're opto, meaning they don't have a BEC built in. This ESC has a BEC built in, so you don't have to run an external BEC or run an additional LiPo to run your servos and things like that. This ESC to me is a 12S Hobbywing ESC. The functions, the programs, it does all that. There are more than rumors that say ZTW designs many of Hobbywing's ESC, and if you look at this ESC very closely, you'll see that they really resemble a Hobbywing style ESC. This looks like a bigger Max 5 to me. You can see the design language in all of them. If you really look closely in the way that they program and the way that they work, you'll see that if you're familiar with them, these things really program very similarly. I've gone on the ledge a couple times and I've heard, hey, ZTW works with Hobbywing, Hobbywing works with ZTW. So that's the story I know, and that's why that's what I'm going to tell you guys. So what I'll tell you also is, besides this thing having a BEC in it, I am running the 2028 censored motor. This ESC is not a censored ESC, so I'm going to be running this censorless. Another tip I will tell you about the ZTW, it does not like to run any motors over 800, 900 kV. They'll even tell you, if you go on the OSC website where you can order these ZTWs from, to keep this under a certain kV. I've had success with this ESC running an 800 kV motor or the 620 ZTW motor. So I would suggest, if you run this motor, don't run it with a TP, run it with a motor that is rated for 12S and rated for under 800 kV. Don't run it with anything higher. That's where you'll run into issues, and I feel like a lot of people have ran up against that issue, and they complain that the ZTW is garbage. There's a mixture. There's people who run the ZTW and maybe didn't run the right kV motor. There's another group of people who never owned a ZTW and just go off of what they heard. So they talk crap about it, which that's corny to me. If you don't have it, don't form an opinion on it. You can say what you heard, but until you actually run it and have experience with this ESC, you shouldn't really talk about it. That's just me. If you haven't had experience with the product, just don't talk about it. Listen to what you heard, but don't form an opinion. Don't put that out there in the universe, because there's a lot of fanboys, there's a lot of followers in this RC hobby who follow and go by what they hear, and there's opinions, and they really don't have the experience. They really don't spend the money. The same thing, there's people want all the speed run secrets, and there's a lot of people who put in work for those speed run secrets and figure out how to do speed running. Like, everybody wants a shortcut. Everybody wants to go off what the next man's doing. That's good, but at the same time, form your own opinions. Go out there and find experience yourself and get one of these ESCs and run it with the appropriate motor. Don't try to be too different. Stay within the recommendations of the manufacturer of this motor. I had that 620 kV motor in my 5T, and my 5T would wheelie like it was a damn Arrma Outcast. That 620 kV had nothing but torque, and it was rated for 14S. Really dope setup. These are really dope ESCs, and as long as you stay in the parameters that's set by the manufacturer, you'll be fine. Take a chance, and guess what? Buy it new, so that if it doesn't work, you can return it. It might take some time for whoever you bought the ESC from to process it, but it's just like anything else. If you don't read the directions, if you don't check the temps, if you're not really sure what you're doing, of course you're going to blow it. But if you stay within the manufacturer tolerances, you'll be fine. So, all right, talking too much about that. What I will say, another tip with these ESCs, I like to put an extra layer of electrical tape around any of these connectors that are connecting the ESC to the motor. I have had a friend who actually blew 2 of these ESCs because their connector in here might not have had the full shrink wrap around it, and it might have shorted out. 2 wires might have touched. It might have touched another metal thing, or it might have touched the can while it was bashing. I don't know what exactly it was, but I know that they said, oh, ZTW is bad, and then it comes back and it's like, oh, wow, yeah, the wires came apart and I shorted the ESC, or I was running a Leopard 1200 kV motor with it. It's going to blow. Don't play around with it. Stay within those tolerances. All right, I'm talking too much, guys. This is not a run video. This is just for me to talk to y'all, because I talk too damn much, and I apologize. But yeah, I just want to show you guys what I had going on. I'm gonna get this bad boy out in a couple days, and I'll have some video for you guys. All right, now that I talk too much, I'm gonna say thank you for watching. Thank you for your time. Shout out to my man Dave Hubbard. Shout out to Big Willie. Shout out to my man Ted and Adam at RC Discount. Just shout out to everybody who supports your boy's channel. Thanks for watching. Y'all be good now. Peace.